Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. My name is George, and in today's video we'll be talking about the Seagull 1963. As every watch collector knows, there are some watches within the watch world that are so iconic and so legendary that they deserve their spot in a watch collection, no matter how expensive or how cheap that collection is, and no matter how expensive or how cheap that watch is. In my opinion, the Seagull 1963 is one of those watches. The history behind it is that in 1963, the Tianjin watch factory in China produced 1,400 watches for the Chinese Air Force. Fast forward to what it is today, Seagull, to 2013, they release a new version of that watch. I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me when I say that this is probably the best chronograph that money could buy at that price point. Before we get into the rest of the video, I should mention to you guys that this watch has been provided to me by Heimdallr. I get to keep it. I don't need to return it. Also, I will leave a link into the description box below where you can actually find the watch. Also, a link to their website. Next to that link, I'll leave a discount code, George20, that takes $20 off the price of the watch. Heimdallr have been a supporter of the channel since its early days. Also, since this watch has been covered on YouTube quite a few times, I will address the review from 3 different angles, such as design, value for money, and collectability. I've done a similar watch video recently, the Dan Henry. I'll leave a link in the corner of the screen for you guys to check out, since the watch has been covered multiple times. So this video would merely be kind of my take on it. Now, let's get into the rest of the video. So there it is, guys. Let's jump into it. I didn't bring the packaging. I'm not going to show you guys the packaging because it's all standard Seagull packaging. It's nothing special. I think once you've seen one, you've seen all of them. Also, the watch came on this, supplied with this green NATO strap. Nothing engraved on the hardware here. It's very straightforward, nothing special about it. As soon as I took it out of the box, put it on the wrist, I didn't actually wear it on the strap at all. I just think it adds unnecessary thickness to an already thick watch. But nevertheless, I've been wearing it on this green genuine leather strap, and this brown genuine leather strap that I bought on off Amazon. I'll put a link into the description box below for you guys to check out if you want to buy it. And I think this is the only color that would actually work on this watch. Obviously, some people might have a different opinion, or whatever you guys like it, or if you want to wear it on a different strap, that's completely fine, because this watch can take a lot of different colors. But some of them, depending on where you buy it from, do actually come with a brown leather strap as well, but I had to buy this separately. I don't mind, I just like it. So this has quick release, again, bought off Amazon, and again, I just think it's the best color that actually suits the watch. Now let's start with the things that we mentioned and the points that we said we're going to discuss. We're just going to start with design. Clearly, one of the main features that make this watch so popular is the way it looks. It comes with it also comes on a 38 millimeters, and it comes on a 42 millimeter case as well. But for me, I have to say that the 38 millimeter is just the sweet spot, and also the one to have, because I have a small wrist, and also I think it looks better in a smaller package. Imagining this on a 42 millimeter case, again, if you have bigger wrists, I definitely agree with the fact that you should go for the 42, because it looks better on the 42. If you have over 7-inch wrists, I have a 6.3 inch just for reference. But still, even though this is a reissue, I still think it keeps in tune with the vintage look. The champagne dial, the blue hands, and also that red chrono hand, which I'm going to start right now, the chronograph function, for you guys to have a proper look. I just think it works really well, and it all definitely adds up to a very appealing dial. Also, the star and the Chinese writing on the dial kind of keeps it true to its roots. So at the 12 o'clock position there, you have 21 Zuan. So this is, from my knowledge, it means 21 joules. And there are a few dial variations available, since there are a few factories licensed to produce the watch in China. And you can get it with sapphire crystal or a domed acrylic. Again, I prefer the acrylic just because I think it's a bit more in tune with its roots, and also because It's domed, so as you can see here, it actually adds more vintage aesthetic to it, so you get a bit of distortion there on the dial. But to be completely honest, I don't really mind. Obviously, acrylic will scratch easier, but we all know that polywatch in that case will be our friend. And I don't think you're a watch collector that has vintage watches or acrylic watches that doesn't have any polywatch. The finishing on the case is overall consistent, and I would, as you'd learn to expect from Seagull, nothing to brag about, especially at this price point, but it's done right. So high polish finish all around the case. At the 3 o'clock position, you have the crown. It's not a screw down crown, it's 30 meter water resistance, and you have the little star there engraved on the crown. And again, pair all this package with the 18 millimeter lug width and the slightly longer lugs, and you have yourself an absolute strap monster. It does work well with NATO straps, which you can use. It's absolutely fine, but again, I think a single pass NATO would actually work really well. I haven't tried it on one, but just because the watch is a bit thicker. The second point in the video, guys, that we will address is the value for money aspect. I think that whatever option you do decide to go for, and also depending on where you're getting the watch from, if you manage to get this for around $200, you'll be getting a good deal. The watch is powered by the Seagull 1901, which has around 40 hours of power reserve, 21 joules, as it says on the dial at the 12 o'clock position, 21,600 vibrations per hour. And please, if you do decide to buy this, please go for the one with the display case back, because this movement is an absolute beauty. And every single time, I have to say, I turn this watch around to look at that movement, it makes me wonder every single time how everything works in tandem nicely to tell you the time as close to accurate as possible. To get back on topic, the reason why I'm saying if you get a good deal for around $200 is because they do vary in price depending on where you get them from. Once again, I got mine from Heimdallr, but you can find them on various other sites. Also, again, the link in the description below. The value for money comes in the form of the hand winding Seagull mechanical movement that is made to be reliable. The movement and the factory, for that fact, have Swiss origins. Seagull acquired the Swiss movement manufacturer Venus in the 1960s, along with his machinery and design. And Seagull movements to this day, to my knowledge, and according to the internet and to all the research that I managed to put together, is still, the Seagull movements are still manufactured on the Venus equipment. So the ST1901 movement is a refined, more updated version, or a clone, if you will, of the Venus 175 movement. All in all, because the Seagull movement is, such good value for money, I think probably this is the best, I think in my opinion, is the best affordable chronograph hand winding mechanical movement that money can buy at this price point. And the third and final point that we'll address, guys, is the collectability. Even though this is a reissue of the 1960s watch, I think it has built a bit of a cult following. And the reason why I'm saying this is because every single person that starts collecting watches at some stage in their journey will buy this watch. It's becoming a milestone in the collecting process. I think in the, especially in the budget watch community, it's like ticking off a box on your must-have list, because let's face it, it's up there with the watches that you should always have in your collection, the likes of the SKX, the Bambinos, the Sarbs, and especially if you have, like I said, a more entry-level or affordable collection. And with micro brands popping up pretty much every other day, let's face it, it's a bit of a tough market to crack. Nevertheless, this has managed to kind of cement a spot in my watch heart, and also a solid spot in that market, and I think it's here to stay. I have to say that every single time I put this watch on my wrist, it always puts a smile on my face. And even though when I first heard that I was going to get the watch for a review, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna worry about the fact that it's hand winding. I have to remember to hand wind it. It's not like your automatic movement that works with the turning of your wrist, the movement of your wrist. But again, every time I put this on my wrist, it's always fun. It works with everything, and I have to say that I enjoy it every single time. That was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my take on the Seagull 1963, if you can call it that. Again, big shout out to Heimdallr for sending this watch in for a review. Be sure to check their website out for the rest of their watches. Click a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't so. Thanks again for listening to me talk about watches for as long as I did. And I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.